Hi, it's the 18th of June 2013. It's a couple of weeks ago since or maybe 3 weeks ago since I last did a video. These bad boys have grown a little bit since then, and I just thought I would keep my record of a video diary up to date. We've been having tomatoes. We've been having strawberries now for the best part of a month. On the news tonight they were saying that it was a bad harvest, but I can't agree with them. Whereas some things are a little bit slower, most things in the polytunnel have kept consistent, with a few exceptions. My butternut squash are definitely way behind. But coming back to my tomato plants, and shots of them last month, or sorry, yes, it was last month, but the bank holiday I think it was. So about 18-20 days, as I said, about 3 weeks further on, you can see a good development of tomatoes now forming, and we've been eating quite a few of them, and as they come ripe. Tomato plants are doing well. The beetroot I put in, well, maybe about 6 weeks ago, extremely doing well. In fact, this one here looks like it's bolting, so that means to me that's time to be pulling those and eating them and giving some room for something else, because it's becoming a bit of a jungle here with tomatoes and sweet corn and everything going really well. We've still got a lot, the middle section of the polytunnel, that's way behind, and these probably have been affected by the bad weather. I'm uncertain as to why. Some of the plants I got from France, and it developed obviously a bit of a disease there, which I used bicarbonate of soda on it, a solution which seems to have stemmed it, excuse the pun. And well, we look to see what happens with all of this. Some of them plants look really good. There's a honeydew melon there that looks incredibly big, and in fact I use these things called yo-yos, which are widely available. I'll demonstrate one here. They're like little retractable things, and they sort of hook underneath the plant, and they retract back in. They're about £1 each, but I find they're well worth it. You can probably find them on eBay or something a lot cheaper. But strawberries all over the place. They're doing rather well. They're beginning to set down runners now, and as you can see, I'm potting the runners on because some of my plants are coming to their 3-year limit, and I will be replacing them with new ones. Cayenne peppers and everything else are doing well. The potatoes are flowered and they're going over now, which is good, which means that the potatoes should be forming under the ground, so I understand. This one's completely and utterly deflated now. It was quite perk and doing really well. The butternut squash have been spread out across the top. They'll be the only things here in a minute when the last of the broad beans go. They're still hanging on in there, and we're finding we're getting a few, but as the plant's finished now, you can see that we're cutting it back and well, disposing of the plant and making room for these, which look quite healthy plants. I'm doing those again in air pots with an air stone in the bottom, which is what you can hear in the background, I suspect, a pump, an air pump. They're looking quite good. They're certainly more advanced with the air pump than the ones that have not got the air pump. The Monge 2 now is really monge tuing. There's plenty of beans on here and plenty of feeds that we've been having off this one. It's a very quick growing plant, that is, and very well rewarding. The orange tree is losing its fragrance now, and because obviously it's finished doing what it's doing. Little bumblebees are doing, or little waspies or whatever they are. If you can see there, I don't know whether you can, but they're setting in little oranges, and they should ripen up as the summer continues, and we'll be putting those to good use in various dishes I eat. The rhubarb now is looking a little bit bigger, if you did see that last time. Plum tree, a few plums on it. I've brought basil outside now because, as I said, 18th of June, cold weather's gone, and it's very mild. I've set up these borlotti beans. I don't know whether they were on the last video, but they're doing very well, I think, considering they had this cold start. And I put a windbreak around to try and assist their growth, but they're picking up now. Once again, done in air pots. For the simple reason is I can grow them again next year if I want to. I don't use that same soil. More potato. The second potatoes, which you saw last time, they're coming on a bit now. Needed, I think, up a bit. The seconds, or the first earlies, they're doing really well. Brassicas is taken off, literally. Massive plants. Hopefully they won't go to seed like they did last year. They grew really well like that and then all went to seed. Pumpkin, not the cat. Well, that didn't really like the cold weather. It's an outside plant, but we managed to get it outside, and it seems to be laying down pumpkins. Whether they're come to anything or they'll drop off, I'm not quite sure. But as you can see, there's one forming just there. Well, we'll watch it as the weeks go on and progress. There's one on every plant. The garlic here is coming to a bit of an end now. These are the butternut squash outside, obviously of no protection anymore. They look well behind. Maybe they'll pick up, I don't know. Certainly this particular pumpkin over here, which was a spare plant I put in, doesn't look too well at all. It's had no protection apart from the wooden bit around it, and I think that real cold weather got to it. It doesn't look very healthy at all, and I'm in two minds to rip it out and forget about it, but as one does, you usually keep things to the bitter end. Butternut squash are all in position. Some look better than others. We'll see what actually happens. The greenhouse is looking really good. Tomatoes galore we should get this year. Last year we were a bit sparse on the ground, but I think I overcompensated this year. Gherkins, we've had several. These are huge, great things, and I'm pickling those as they come. And there's a couple there to go in the pickling jar tonight, perhaps. But as you can see, these are gardener's choice, and they're putting out. Well, they're meant to be cherry-sized tomatoes, but they look quite big. There's one in the back there that's already gone. Aubergines. Well, different variety that I grew last year. I'm not sure. Gonna have to assist these bumblebees in a minute to get out of here. They're buzzing around and seem to be lost. They really do love the raspberries. They've been working on those for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I don't know whether you're going to catch those. We finally ended the maintenance of the raspberry area. These were the wicking wanderers, as you can see, beginning to form up nice cauliflowers in amongst it all here. And out of the wicking idea, out of the 1 litre air pots, are shooting my runner beans, which is, as I said, a bit of an experiment. Not a massive runner bean fan, so I'm not too worried if I don't get a massive crop off of them, but if I get a few feeds and something trees, that'll be really good. That'll be a result. So there you have that. And coming around to the other side, I set up another channel, or a guttering with water in, etc. And along here I've got some more. This is the evening sun on this side, the other side gets the morning sun. I've put runner beans in, and I've tried different things like parsley. I've got parsley growing everywhere, but I just wondered what it happens out of air pots. They've not been long planted in there, so they haven't picked up. I've got red berries growing out of this system as well, and something completely different, some spring onions growing out of air pots. Again, an experiment to see what actually is happening, or what will happen to them, more like. These have gone a bit to seed. I think it could have been the mixture of the cold weather coming at the wrong time, or whatever. That's shallots. This is leeks. They went to seed as well. Not had much luck with my onion crop. Celery, never grown it before. That's looking quite healthy, but the difference between the celery outside, left to the bad weather or the colder weather, and inside the tunnel is remarkable. I put a few that I had left over in the tunnel here, and well, it's absolutely remarkable. These are almost ready. I mean, they need a little bit longer, but as you can see here now, celery forming up quite nicely down there, when obviously they want a bit longer, but no, that should be ready in a few weeks, I should think, quite easily. What else have we got? Well, the olive trees oliving and well, there you go. I'll perhaps report again in 2 or 3 weeks time, see what we get then. By this time the strawberries will be out of here, or 3 weeks time they should be, and they'll be outside on the brackets out here, which I devised a system that they come outside and hang on this arrangement out here. So my tunnel is freed up from a product that I no longer need, and the birds can have what last ones come. And yes, as you notice, they get lower and lower and lower, so I water the top one, and it comes all the way around, and none of the water is wasted, and it finally pops out the last one here. Well, that's the theory. Okay, until next time, au revoir.